Mhm. I don't hear. Welcome to the Great African American Read-In. I don't know what is going on today, but anyway, we are here. Hello and happy Tuesday to everybody. We are live, Facebook Live. The music came on, the PowerPoint came on, and it was like, doo, 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 and then it was like done. And then something else came on, so whatever. So, hey, we're live here with the Great African American Read-In, featuring 28 of your amazing authors who have created amazing children characters for your pleasure and for your delight. Good evening. My name is Gloria Kitchen. I am here with Mr. Kyrie Denby.
Hey, y'all. I'm glad to be here. I almost thought I wasn't going to make it. I'm just getting off of my staff meeting. But I'm here and I'm excited and I'm waiting to hear Black Boy Joy. I know this is reading. Yes, I'm ready.
Awesome. And Miss Jocelyn Jones.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. And to our and then one of our amazing authors, Miss Shalita Hatch. How are you doing this afternoon?
I am just awesome and fired up from that introduction from Mr. Denby. So I'm ready to spread some joy.
Awesome. All right, it's all yours. It is all yours.
All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Miss Charlita, and I am the author of Black Boy Joy, which means I wrote the book. It was illustrated by Savon Wallace. That means she drew the pictures, and it's super cool to know that Savon was a junior in high school when she illustrated the book. And so that means that we can all be anything we want to be, no matter how old we are. So we will get started with Black Boy Joy. There's nothing I would rather do than tell the world how much I love you. Black Boy Joy, you will always be a son who is special to me. Oh, my sweet and precious boy, you fill my heart with so much joy. Black Boy Joy, you will always be a son who is special to me. As you climb out of your bed, let mama's words ring through your head. Black Boy Joy, you will always be a son who is special to me. And when you go to school and play, remember how we start each day. Black Boy Joy, you will always be a son who is special to me. Whether you choose to play a sport or bake a cake, I will always support the path you take. Black Boy Joy, you will always be a son who is special to me. If there are times when you feel blue, I hope you remember that I love you. Black Boy Joy, you will always be a son who is special to me. As you grow up big and strong, you will always have a place that you belong. Black Boy Joy, you will always be a son who is special to me. After it's all said and done, just remember that you are my son. Black Boy Joy, you will always be a son who is special to me. Thank you all so much for the opportunity to spread Black Boy Joy.
I loved it. Thank you. Are you a teacher?
No, but I do have a teacher's heart.
Yeah, and you got a teacher voice too. I say she did.
My son, who inspired me to write the book, he'll be 4.
Okay.
So there's probably a little that preschool mom voice too.
Yeah, that's what it was. That was awesome. Thank you for sharing that story.
Thank you.
Well, I love the illustrations were just absolutely beautiful, and the story behind it, allowing our young people to be a part of literature is really, really big. So, kudos to you on that for allowing the young people to, you know, get involved with that. You passing on that torch, so that's beautiful. And I love, the rhyming in it, bringing that phonological awareness is in there, and I really love that. So I think it's really age appropriate, and also, promoting Black Boy Joy. That is so necessary, for the social emotional part of children. So thank you for that. I really, really enjoyed it. It was beautiful.
Thank you.
Author Shalita, thank you very much for sharing your heart and your heart for Black little boys. I think that's a level of compassion and just a level of emotional awareness that I believe that you brought out that was very enlightening. I think that also, because a lot of times we also hear a lot of negative impact that is listed on Black male, young boys at that. So I think for you to take that, to take that, nurture it, and creatively inspire and shed a new light on Black boys that they are joy, and then they also have a loving parents who care about them. And, we need to see more of that within our community as a whole. So I appreciate your rhythm and rhyme. I was listening to that as well. So amazing narration, illustrations, like it's very on point and it's certainly timely. So thank you for sharing your gift with us here on tonight.
And thank y'all for lifting me up. I really appreciate the feedback and that what has been in my heart came through. Like, as an author, you don't know if what you're saying and your meaning and your intentions are coming through. And so it just gave me so much confirmation and joy that just thinking about humanizing Black boys, particularly right now, knowing that people just see them as objects, either they're a spouse or a thug, but not through the eyes of their moms. And maybe if people would see our boys as people who have to learn how to go to the potty, and they like trains, and they and they have their feelings, they get hurt, they lose sports and they cry to their moms. If people would see that, then maybe if stuff happens to them, people would respond with more compassion instead of like turning a blind eye like they're animals. So thank you for that.
Right. That is awesome. And I've always, in my classroom, I try to find books for boys. Like, it's really not a lot of books for boys, period. No, whether they're Black boys or any boys, it's just not a lot of books out there for them. And so this is one that I know I can at least start with my little younger kids. And I'm sure even the older kids would like to read it too, because it's still encouraging them. So thank you for that. I really do enjoy that. So I'm just going to order my copy too. Where can we order it?
Thank you. www.me3project.com. So me, 3 project.com.
Okay.
And to your last point, just about just statistics, finding out that less than 10% of children's books feature people of color. So having this platform to expose those books are, because we don't always get the publisher deals that give you the marketing exposure, is huge. And I'm thankful for the opportunity. But seeing that less than 3% feature Black boys, and then of those, how many of those stories do you think are like Martin Luther King or Michael Jordan?
Right.
Awesome. But as you're trying to foster a love of reading for children, we know that literacy is critical for no matter what job you go into.
Right.
3-year-olds want to read about slavery.
Right. I was just telling Gloria that the other day. They don't do anything to awaken the imagination in kids. Nobody want to read about Martin Luther King was a wonderful man. Okay.
Right. We care about that as adults, and so
right.
Give this parenting tip that I do with my son. We try to make reading fun and cool. So we have a tent and we go in and we read by flashlight, or we might read him while he's in the bathtub, but I never want to make reading a punishment. And I never want to force him to read books he doesn't want to read right now. I'd rather him go pick out the same book about the trains over and over and over and want to read it than to say, you got to read this book about Martin Luther King because it's important to me. And then he then doesn't want to do it.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love that. That's what we need, more parents like that. And I'm glad you offered that advice to let parents know a lot of times we do things, it's for our good, it's for our benefit, and it's not really for our kids. But I'm a hush because I see Gloria looking. She doing too much. I'm a hush. You are.
No, because I'm outside and listen, I'm outside in the patio of one of my best friend's house. So she's looking through the screen to see whether or not if I'm getting rained on. So she's smiling like, you all right? You okay? So I'm like, yeah, okay. So that's why I'm looking like that. But I'm being overly transparent right now. But no. But that's
well,
no
that's
good.
a good setting you in. That's a good setting. I love that. But yeah, as I said, I just think more parents need to remember that, you know, like I'm not a parent. I've never been a parent. I'm an uncle and a teacher and a godfather. But I tell parents, you know, when you have kids, your life ends until kids are, even when the kids out of your house, you still gonna have to deal, you know, they're still your babies. So thank you for that. And I'm a hush. I know Jocelyn got something to say before we go.
Come on, Jocelyn.
I ain't tell you, Karen, but no, I really, really enjoy. I think I agree everything with what Carrie is saying, and you know, it's just we need to definitely uplift our Black men, our Black boys during this climate, this time, you know, because it's so much going on with our Black boys. And just as you said, you know, they're always objectified. They're always people look at them as objects and not as human beings. So, you know, just having a book or having literature to uplift our young Black boys is just it's amazing, you know. And like Kara says, not a lot of books for a lot of boys, you know, not just Black boys, but you know, boys in general. You can find books on girl power and girl this, girl that, you know, cute little pink books on how to dress and this, you know, all of these great books. But, you know, as far as, you know, with boys, you know, it's not capitalized on. Then that's the thing, you know, it's not appealing to the eye to have books, or appealing or masculine enough to have books about guys. You know, it's cute to have girls, and they can capitalize off of that, you know, all the little pink books and things of that nature that's girly is very capitalistic. But when it comes to men and about masculinity and all of that different stuff, it's not popular. You know, and so we have to think in terms of, you know, economic wise, that, you know, that's why it's not really being promoted, because it's not you can't sell off of it, you know.
And when you think about just girls in general, it is cool to be smart. No matter what color you are, it's your hand, it's cool. And even if we all know mean girls, but it's never really cool to be the mean girl unless you're in that mean girl group, right?
Right.
With our boys, it is not cool to raise your hand and be like, I know the answer.
Yeah.
I read this book. I did my homework. And so we've got to work hard to make it. And we can make it cool by the media images that we put out there, and we celebrate. And so we've got to push the envelope of celebrating. The only thing Black boys can be cool by is sports.
Yeah.
Or being a thug, right? But so it's cool to be an engineer. It's cool to know how to cook. It's cool to be the women. Yeah. But we've got to demonstrate that. And I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, he has to see you reading. You're his first image. And so if you don't pick up a book and read in front of him, I'm not saying you don't read, but if he just sees you on your phone reading, he's not going to translate that into a book. If you read, because he's going to model you first.
That's right.
Yeah.
We preaching tonight.
That's what I'm saying. We having church. I'm saying. Yes, indeed. Come on. But that
Yeah.
is true. Like sometimes I wouldn't even be reading around my students, but I would have a book acting like I was doing it just so, because one of my students found me on Facebook, this from like 20 years ago. And their first Black teacher was Mr. Denby in kindergarten. They
Wow.
music teacher. And so, you know, I just remember that, and I'm sure they remember that. Sometimes I would just be holding a book, not really reading it, cause you know I ain't have time to at school, but just so that they could see I had books. And oh, Mr. Look at him reading. Mr. Denby dressed people are tired of school. Mr. Denby doing, you know, and so
That's right.
that made me feel good. They came back and remembered that.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet.
That's
Love it.
Black Boy Joy. I love
Yes.
that.
Definitely. Are you gonna have merchandise? I think that would be nice if you had like t-shirts or merchandise.
Well, so there's a lot of people who have that term out there. And I really thought about what am I trying to do? Like, what's my
Mm.
aim? And I do think it's kind of like telling the stories of Black boys. So I have another book. It's called Black Boy Joy Christmas Countdown.
Oh,
Because, you know, when you start thinking about books for Christmas, when you think of a Black family, I feel like people think of Kwanzaa or Salvation Army. They don't think about, you know, our kids doing gingerbread houses, getting excited, writing a letter to Santa, Black Santa, and all of those things. So I really wanted to tell just like just a regular family story that was centered around a Black family at Christmas time. And so I think that's my niche, Jocelyn, is really trying to just our normal everyday experiences that people think are anomaly, but they're really normal.
right.
Exception, right? Like to have mamas who love their kids. That's not an anomaly. And I think that's just the narrative that's just put out there. And so I'm hoping to tell more stories that way that celebrates the Black family, centering around a Black boy as the leading protagonist. One, so that other families can see it, but also our families, Black families, can also see themselves and know that they are not the exception, that we can tell our regular stories and see a story. I don't think I'll be doing shirts and cups. And like I said, I think that lane is taken, not taken, there's enough, but I don't feel like there's enough with literature. I'm a big advocate for reading being the foundation for anything you want to do, if it's math.
Okay.
Me and you will get along just fine. I used to fuss at my kids all the time. That's what, honey, if you can't do nothing else, you better learn how to read. Mr.
I know that's real.
Reading, I get mad at them too. And I don't say about reading.
Then you take it back historically, and you know, like I'm on this big kick right now of silence being violence, and everything that we're supposed to not talk about are really weapons against us, right? So talk about politics. We don't talk about if something bad happens to us at home. It's all giving power to people that are really the oppressors. And so then you go back to, they didn't want us to learn how to read because there's so much power in that. And so how do we keep our power and get our confidence and really break those barriers? Is doing the exact thing they never wanted us to do in the first place.
That's right. This has been an awesome conversation. I'm excited that you came.
We talk all night, so Miss Gloria.
That's what I'm saying. I thank you. But I know we don't want to hold you, Gloria, and we don't want to. Now I know.
But yeah, we don't want to hold you while you're on your patio.
You outside, and we don't want you to get rained on. Your hair look nice. Gone, girl. Where the books reside. Where the books reside. Where the books reside. Hey.
So silly. But no, LaQuisha Innocent, she did my hair. So for anyone that's in the Fort Lauderdale, Tri-County area, she is she's one of my friends on Facebook, but she's also a personal friend as well. She should get my hair. So thank you very much for the comment. I gave her shout out on social media. So, you know, as we progress through Children's Island, we'll be able to talk about our glam squads, okay? So we'll be year 13. I have this Jador cardigan on. This is to Zahari, but you know, I'm just saying, but for real. But you know, we just like, you know, but anyway, I'm just speaking into existence. But Miss Shalita, thank you very much, Officer Leader, for coming in on today. It's no rush on me or whatever. It's just raining. Thank God it's not cold, but it's just raining over here. So I'm grateful for the rain and not the cold. But I mean, I've thoroughly enjoyed you. We had an amazing conversation. This is just great, 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 great. And this is also just stems into the premises of what we all are doing. You know, I'm in with Children's Island. Mr. Demby is with Demby's Playful Parables. Ms. Jones, she is with Capital Learning Group. So all of this is just tying into one another, and we are really building connections that are going to, you know, expand and create dynamic and diversified communities. So I'm just so, you know, just so at awe at the conversations that we are having beyond the book, you know, the initial book reading as well, which will lend to other conversations that need to be, you know, to be held as well. So I'm just really grateful for this opportunity for you to come and share your gift with us, and so that we will be able to bring the gift to around the nations, you know. So I'm just so grateful for that as well.
Mhm.
Thank y'all for the opportunity and everything that each of you are doing. And I'm glad we have this circle and this village, and we'll continue to expand it.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Mr. Jimmy, is your heart and mind clear?
Yeah. I have said everything I needed to say. I think.
I want to say one thing. This has something to do, because even though you are not a parent, like, you know, birth children, you know, you have godchildren, and I think you are a fantastic and phenomenal mentor and godparent. So when you say that, I kind of get like,
But no.
you know, so
No,
you know, I
I'm
keep
just saying.
leaning in because I be like, what are you
No,
talking
because
about?
people,
But I
when
know.
I give parental advice, people always feel like, since I don't have kids, I don't have the right to tell you how to be a parent, because I really don't know what it's like, those sleepless nights, waking up. I don't know. But it's certain things that I can see as a teacher and educator and as an uncle and godparent, things that I know to be true that I can share with parents.
Mhm. And them
Okay.
sleepless nights ain't but a few hours when we with them 9 and 10 hours. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
when you've been with them 9 and 10 hours, them 7, 8 little sleepless nights, it'll be all right. We know we and our children, you know, when we spend that much time with the kids, and sometimes we know about the kids more so than the parents do, you know, and I know that for a fact. 22 years, I know, you know, it's been times that I can tell the parents, look, he's doing such and such and such. Have you seen this?
Right.
You know, Miss Johnson, I ain't know that he did this, that, and the third. So, you know, don't take nothing from that. You know, just because you're not a parent does not mean that, you know, hey, you don't know any more, any less than the parents, you know. It's all about experience, you know, and so that's what I would say to that.
All right. Thank you.
So my heart is clear now, because I had to say that.
Because it's storming right there. I seen lightning. Come on the end.
Okay, let's close it up. So thank you all for coming on tonight. I know you see it's pouring down raining over here in sunny South Florida. So have a wonderful evening, everyone. Again, thank you very much, Officer Leah, Miss Johnson and Jones. Thank you, and Mr. Kyrie Demby. Thank you. We are cutting off this live right now. See y'all tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are Children's Island, where learning is a breeze. Good night, everybody.
All right. Good night.